everyone, what's up? My name is Mike Nylander, and you have just found your way to another fun-filled episode of Handbag Mike. A channel devoted not just to one, but to two different things that I like, handbags and talking. So hit that like button and be sure to subscribe as I take a look at the latest handbags from various designers such as Louis Vuitton, Prada, Coach, Michael Kors, Dooney & Bourke, and many more. I am going to share with you my opinion as to what's hot and what's not. Each new episode will center around a different bag, and each bag will be thoroughly and wittingly reviewed by yours truly using a list of various categories and a 5-star rating system. For this particular episode of Handbag Mike, I felt it was about high time to, finally look at a purse from a brand that handbag lovers tend to talk about a great deal. I am, of course, talking about Chanel. I will also say that I've had a request to talk about Chanel brand on this channel in the past. So I figured now was as good a time as any to take a look at this brand and review one of the bags that they put out. Now, I will say that for me, personally, Chanel, much like Louis Vuitton, is a very hit or miss type of brand. They do put out some bags that I feel are truly wonderful. I mean, some of their bags are magnificent beyond magnificent. And then they put out some bags that are, well, not so wonderful. But how will today's bag, the mini flat bag in Shearling Lambskin with Goldtone metal, hold up now that it has caught my eye and found its way to this channel? Will it pass with flying colors or will it fall flat in the mud? I guess there's only one way to find out. So I invite you to relax on that nice comfy sofa of yours as we take a look at our next bag for review on Handbag Mike. If you have been watching these videos for a while, and thank you if you have been, then you will by now know the drill. But if you are new to this channel, let me start by saying a friendly and happy welcome. And now, let me lay the whole process of the grading out for you. In order to give a complete review of each bag that will be listed on this channel, a list of categories has been created which will highlight the different important key elements of what I am looking for in each bag. These categories will be the same for each bag that I look at, and they will be graded based off of a 5-star rating, where I, try to rate based off of what I feel others would want, and not just my own wants and desires in a bag. Then, at the end of each video, I will share my personal thoughts on the bag and let you know how I feel about it. And I will give my take on whether or not the bag is fab or drab. First, though, comes that grading scale, and now let's look at the categories. They are as follows: style, price and value, versatility, practicality, and timelessness. The first category that we're going to look at is the category of style. And I had to remind myself as I started this review that I am allotted my time to give my personal opinions of each bag at the end of each episode. But for the rest of the time, it is my job to be as unbiased as possible. Now, we all know that the occasional slip-up does happen, and I do let my key feelings pop out ever so often. But, by and large, these reviews tend to be fair, I think. Anyway, when it comes to the style of this bag, I felt the only rating that I could fairly give was that of 2.5 stars. I do feel that this bag is going to have an equal split when it comes to its reception. I feel like there are going to be just as many people who love this bag, thinking it is cute and soft and fuzzy, as people who don't, finding it, quite honestly, a little bit tacky looking. So this rating reflects this, as it is a perfect half of the 5-star rating that this and all categories could ultimately get. This bag is one that is in a white shearling and has a white strap with a Goldtone chain and Goldtone hardware. The shearling is very long, and honestly, regardless of how you feel about this bag, it does muddle the shape of the bag more than just a little bit. Quite honestly, it feels as though I'm not even looking at a bag when I look at this. I kind of see it as a great big weeple with a strap on it. And quite honestly, I halfway expect to be able to find some googly eyes on this bag if I look hard enough. The interior of this bag is a nice shade of red, which does stylistically complement the pale exterior rather nicely. I will say that stylistically, I'm not entirely sure if the Goldtone hardware is a hit or a miss here. When up against the shearling, which in itself is not a pure white, I feel as though the Goldtone only makes the shearling look that much more dingy. I do almost feel as though silver-toned hardware would have served this bag better in a way, because it would not attract even further notice to the underlying yellow tone that this shearling has. This may be just me, but I say what I see. When it comes to the style, this is a bag that is definitely a hit or a miss. It is one that is far removed from typical, and as such, it will have a lot of fans flocking to it. Pun intended. But it will have just as many people steering clear and going for a more traditional choice. So the 2.5-star rating here is not one that I feel is out of line. And I actually feel that it is the perfect rating for the style of this bag. The second category that we will be looking at is the category of price and value. And I'm going to say it right here and right now. This bag is one expensive little bitch. I mean, come on. $4,500 from the Chanel website for such a teeny tiny little bag? Are you freaking kidding me? Yes, I know Chanel just recently had a price increase, and don't even get me started on that BS. But honestly, this is just damned insane. Alright, yes, the bag is made out of lambskin, and it does have Goldtone hardware that I am, honestly, still not all that sold on personally. So, while one may be able to argue that the materials used to make up this item are of a good quality, the reality is that there is just too damned little of it to really make that point suitable at all. Here, the reality is that you are paying simply for the name Chanel. That is it. And honestly, if you're going to spend this type of money buying Chanel, then simply from a cost and quality viewpoint, it is likely that you could find one better suited to the price point being asked in this bag. So 1.5 stars here, because I just cannot even begin to justify this. Not in any way, shape, or form. The third category that we are looking at is the category of versatility. With the versatility of this bag, I gave a 2-star rating. And to be kind of honest here, it felt like I was being more than a little bit generous. But honestly, anything lower seems kind of insulting, so what can I say? What rating seems fair? Anything under 2 stars seems too low. 2 stars seems too high. I don't know what to do here. I really don't. So, here we go. In the past, we have seen a few bags on this channel that I have said work in a casual setting, but definitely not a formal one. And now, here, I'm going to say we have the exact opposite. Unless, of course, you are the type of person who carries around Chanel every day and doesn't really have any stop to the amount of Chanel that you can have. This one is one that I can see you using only during special events. And furthermore, to me, the Shearling just doesn't seem like it would be a practical choice for casual use. This bag is one that, again, for me personally, seems as though it would actually be limited as to when it would be appropriately used. It is a formal bag, and that's really all I can see it as. Furthermore, this bag has the type of appearance that it is only something that I would use for a very small point of the year. It is definitely a winter bag when everything is cold, and the materials that this bag are made of remind us of being warm and toasty. But that is really it. I can't see it going any further than that. Furthermore, having only one strap, there's not a lot of ways that we can wear this bag. Here, this is not that big a deal because with the Chanel flap bags, this one strap is the case. I just simply cannot see personally this being a versatile bag to use in any way. I think that it may be pretty to look at, depending on your view of it, but the appeal of it just kind of stops there. The fourth category that we are looking at is the category of practicality. When it came to the practicality of this bag, just as with the versatility, I gave a 2-star rating. Again, I feel as though this is being entirely too generous, but I'm giving it anyways because I don't want to be overly mean or critical. With that said, this bag is small. I mean, it is small. I will just say it. When Chanel calls this a mini flap bag, they are really putting some strong emphasis on the word mini. Because, wow! This bag measures 4.3 inches by 5.9 inches by 1.8 inches. I mean, what the hell? I've seen greeting card envelopes bigger than this. This bag is one where the interior pocket is at the back. However, with this bag being so small to begin with, I have to wonder what in the name of God you're even going to be able to put in that pocket. A spare toothpick, I suppose. The reality is that when comparing this to other mini flaps, it is a small bag. Ridiculously small. For example, let's just take a look at the mini flap Lambskin quilted. This bag measures 5.3 inches by 6.6 inches by 3.1 inches. So it is larger. Ultimately, I really have to ask why the drastic difference in size. And with there being that drastic difference, I just cannot see this bag as being practical at all. I mean, even if you could fit things inside of this bag, and quite honestly, that is a big if right there. Good luck on being able to get your hand inside of it to retrieve any of those things that you have managed to stuff into it. The next category, and the last category that we're going to look at, is the category of timelessness. Now, when it came to the category of timelessness, I gave a 4-star rating. It was a hard place to get this one. I actually did a bit of searching before I came up with this rating. But ultimately, I did feel very comfortable giving this rating as far as timelessness goes. Because here we have a bag that is Chanel, and let's not lie, the odds are that simply by being Chanel, this bag is one that is going to have that timeless quality. Then we have the fact that this bag, being a shearling, is made of a material that will keep its timeless nature. People have always loved shearling. People are likely always going to love shearling. It just is what it is. Like all other types of fur, there are those who have a love for it. Now and forever. While the shearling has been used to create a bold bag here, this is one that I feel does stand the test of time for those that like this sort of bag. However, it is not a bag for everyone. We have drawn near to the end of another review, and another bag has been rated based off of my own personal standards. Lastly now, it is time for me to share my personal feelings on this bag. I will say that when I first looked at this bag, it actually reminded me of a line from the movie Clueless. Honestly, I will say that while I do typically like bags that are whimsical and made to look a little bit different from just your typical bag, I am finding myself at odds with this particular item. I'm just come to the decision that I am not even going to call it a bag in this personal section because it's just way too small to be considered a bag. It is just furthermore not attractive to me. The shape of it, as I said earlier, is completely lost underneath the shearling, and the Goldtone, in my opinion, just does not work here at all. This bag is so small that it should almost be considered a joke. I'm honestly waiting for the punchline here. I really am. And I typically tend to like bags that are perennial in nature instead of ones that I feel belong only to dedicated parts of the year. You know, especially when it costs $4,500. I just cannot justify any part of this bag. It is something that I would personally never even consider wasting money on. Because when it comes to this particular bag, with the measurements and the design, especially when you compare it to that of other mini flaps from Chanel, that is what it is. It is a waste of money. So, is this bag fab or drab? Anybody want to take a guess where I stand here? You know, as if I've not made it quite clear. No? Okay, well, let me tell you. This bag is one that I see as drab. No. You know what? Let's just stop right here. I don't just see this bag as drab. I see it as the drabbiest of drab. As I said above, it looks like someone actually attached a chain to one of those Weeple creations and said, hey, let's just call it a bag. Honestly, I just don't get it. This is one of those things that I will say is one that would be purchased by somebody who quite literally has more money than God himself and just wants to use it to buy something. I just don't understand it. I will honestly say that Chanel bags on a whole are expensive. But you know what? Some of them are really good investments and some of them do look awesome. and are easy to justify. And then you get this one, the hairball of handbags. No thank you. And with this said, we have now reached the end of another review. I hope you all had a fun time looking at the Chanel mini flap bag in Shearling lambskin and Goldtone metal with me. If so, please let me know by showing some love and hitting those like and subscribe buttons. And be sure to stay tuned as a new reveal will be coming your way soon. Until next time, everyone, I'm Handbag Mike saying later.